After his return from his second voyage in 1496, Columbus spent the next 2 years defending himself against the accusations made by the Spanish settlers. He urged the Spanish monarchs to resupply the island of Hispaniola, convinced that a westward route to China and the Indies were almost within their grasp. The monarchs were somewhat skeptical, but acquiesced to the demand, considering the amount of time and money invested already, coupled with the fact that new islands were discovered by Columbus in their name. However, they provided Columbus with a much smaller fleet this time, of only 6 ships. The mission for the third voyage was to resupply settlements on the island of Hispaniola, continue exploration for a westward route to the Indies, and continue the search for new islands to claim in the name of the Spanish monarchs. By this time, the Pope had already helped broker an arrangement between the Spanish monarchs of Castile-Aragon and King John II of Portugal, on which kingdom would hold claim to the lands that would be newly discovered during westward exploration. So on May 30th, 1498, Columbus left Sanlúcar, Spain, with 6 ships for his third voyage. Their first stop was the Portuguese islands of Porto Santo and Madeira. From here, ships sailed south to the Canary Islands, reaching their shores on June 19th. Here, the fleet split up, with 3 ships sailing directly to Hispaniola to bring much-needed supplies and reinforcements. The remaining 3 ships sailed under Columbus's command down to Cape Verde, with the goal of exploring the regions further south from Hispaniola. On July 4th, the 3 ships left the Cape Verde Islands and sailed west to once again explore new lands, but encountered the doldrums of the Atlantic. Another quick sidebar. The doldrums are what sailors call the intertropical convergence zone. This weather phenomena is marked by monotonous, windless weather and occurs near the equator. Given that wind was the primary source of propulsion for ships in those days, being in the doldrums can cause fleets to be stuck for days, while exhausting food supplies and drinking water for the crew. That is exactly what Columbus and his crew encountered, having been able to travel only 120 leagues in 9 days. For reference, the distance from Cape Verde to Hispaniola is about 922 leagues. But their luck improved, and the winds picked up on July 22nd. Drinking water was running dangerously low on the ship, and Columbus set a course for the island of Dominica, which he had found during the last voyage. On July 31st, he sighted an island with 3 prominent hills, leading him to rename this island after the Holy Trinity as Trinidad. There, the crew was able to procure more fresh water, and the next day, on August 1st, Columbus and his crew sailed over to the mouth of the Orinoco River, in what is today Venezuela. They did not disembark from their ship, but made observations about the topography of the land, as well as the sheer volume of water that was being sent into the ocean from the Orinoco River. These observations led them to accurately believe that the land that they saw was a continent and not just another island. However, he still retained the belief that this was part of Asia. From August 2nd to August 12th, he continued sailing in the Gulf of Paria, back and forth between Trinidad and South America. During this time, he encountered many tribes from whom he received various items, including pearls, maize wine, and fresh water. From here, he sailed to the island of Margarita, reaching there on August 14th. By then, Columbus was in poor health and determined to head back to Hispaniola. He reached there 5 days later on August 19th to find that his brother Bartholomew had abandoned the settlement at La Isabela and moved the headquarters to Santo Domingo. Furthermore, the Spanish settlers were in rebellion against the rule of Columbus and his brothers. They accused him of misleading them with false promises of gold and riches, which were not to be found on Hispaniola. Additionally, the clergy were enraged at Columbus's attempts to profit from the enslavement and sale of the native people, considering their mission of converting them to Christianity. Hearing these reports, on May 21st, 1499, the monarchs assigned Francisco de Bobadilla as judge for the affairs being conducted on the island of Hispaniola. The following year in June, Bobadilla sailed to Hispaniola to relieve Columbus of his position and powers and investigate the accusations against him. Within days of his arrival, on August 23rd, Bobadilla arrested the Columbus brothers, Christopher, Bartholomew, and Diego, imprisoned them, and seized their personal properties on the charges of being rebellious subjects of the Spanish crown. In early October 1500, the 3 brothers were put on a ship to Spain to face trial for the accusations levied against them. They arrived in Cadiz on October 30th, 1500, bringing the third voyage of Columbus to an end.